Hey, what's up everybody? This is Dead Pixels, and today we're going to play a little bit of Doom for the Super Nintendo. Now, a couple weeks ago I put up some footage of Doom for the 32X. I just kind of wanted to compare the two a little bit. Neither port is incredible, but for what they do, on a 16-bit platform, and I guess you can call it a 32X a 32-bit platform, they do some pretty cool stuff. So let's take a look. Now, right off the bat, you'll notice a couple things. There's a lot more textures in the Super Nintendo version, at least texture variety. When you go in here, you'll notice a lack of computer monitors in the 32X version. You get a lot more of them in this room. Another thing you'll notice, though, is that the floor and ceiling don't have textures in the Super Nintendo version, which kind of hurts it a little bit. It's nothing major. I think, the trade-off's kind of worth it, but you'll also notice the resolution really isn't that sharp on the Super Nintendo version either. The sound is awesome, though. I'm not sure how well you can hear this, but it sounds really, really good compared to the 32X version. Another thing worth noticing is it seems like explosions don't really send your enemies flying, and if you can blast your enemy to bits and pieces, I haven't had much luck doing it. You'll still see the sprites for, the jibbed enemies sitting around, but I've yet to jib anybody myself. So, explosions, a little less impact, not quite as gory when you're killing enemies, but that's 90s Nintendo, what do you expect? Also, just from playing this, it looks like the weapon models are a little smaller than in the original. Shotgun's pretty tiny. I think we'll go back and get the chain gun. I mean, like I said, neither port is really perfect, but honestly, back in the day when computers were, easily a couple $1,000s for your Tandy or your IBM, it's pretty incredible to be able to play Doom, with a pretty competent port on the consoles. I don't really think any of us back in, 1994 thought we'd see these, so definitely pretty cool. Somebody is ripping me a new asshole. It's another thing I noticed, just right there, firing the minigun. Either the game doesn't use as many sound channels as the 32X version, because I noticed a few drop sounds, or maybe the sound's just a little buggy, but the minigun sounded pretty weak there, and I don't think you heard as many gunshots as you would have on the other versions. I think it could be a sound channel issue, though, because I have noticed that it gets pretty difficult to hear enemy gunshots sometimes. You'll hear yourself reacting, but you won't necessarily actually hear yourself getting shot. Now, I could have gotten the chainsaw there, but really I'm not going for secrets so much. I just want to play a few levels and give you guys a look at what the game's all about and how it holds up compared to the other versions. And this will probably be the last stage here. Now, another thing I noticed, which is kind of bizarre, and for anyone who's played Doom, it's definitely a little jarring, is when you start the game, you actually do not start out at a difficulty selection screen. I don't know if there's only one difficulty in the game or not, or if there's another way to access them, but, you know, folks who like to play on Ultra Violence or Nightmare, that's what I usually typically play on, is Ultra Violence. You may not be able to use that mode in this game, and if so, that's pretty disappointing. I've already noticed a great deal less shotgun guys, I guess, are sergeants, than I'm used to in the other versions. And the Pinky Demon that you're about to see, I already fought a few of those in the first room of this area. Nothing major, but I guess those who want a really good challenge, if you can't choose Nightmare, it's a little disappointing. Yeah, the weapons are definitely a bit smaller. I mean, if you look at the chain gun, it's pretty tiny compared to the other versions. Oh, and I get stuck in some walls a little bit too. Now, like in other areas, like indoors, it's not as noticeable, but when you're out here on the outside of the base, you can see that lack of floor textures and the lack of textures on the toxic waste. They're pretty ugly. Definitely lets you know you're kind of playing a budget port of Doom. 1 plus this has over the 32X version is there's actually, you know, a use of darkness and shadow, and you don't actually get that, at least not to much effect in the 32X version. There's no real light sourcing. I think for my next video I might end up showing my least favorite port of Doom, and that would have to be Doom for the Saturn, which is atrocious. I mean, the frame rate's pretty low on this one in the 32X version, though I think 32X version's a little bit smoother. It plays like a slideshow on the Saturn for some reason. They did a really poor job porting that, which is a shame because the Doom for the PlayStation is actually a phenomenal port. Yeah, listen to that chain gun. Pretty weak, guys. Which is really stunning considering the music is so good. And there you have it. That's Doom.